Hi everyone, my name is Zinhle. Feel free to call me Z while you practice.
I'm Noëlle.
And welcome to
Diaspora Horse.
Yeah!
I love it.
Okay, so we have to focus today, but just very quickly, welcome back.
Thank you.
And also, I don't know if we mentioned this the first time, but we came up with Diaspora Horse together.
We did.
Yeah.
It was mostly you.
But it was us.
But it was
us. But Noëlle is, as we'll discuss today, a married woman. She was starting a new job, and so that is why she is our favorite in-house recurring guest.
Frequent visitor,
Yes.
recurring, yes.
Noëlle just got married.
I did. And Z was one of my bridesmaids and made my veil. Go look on her Instagram to see it was incredible. People gagged.
I mean,
so beautiful. 12 feet. Lavender flowers. It was everything.
Yeah, and it's what you wanted and what you deserved.
And the vision just completely came exactly how I pictured it. I couldn't have asked for more.
I'm going to put a side-by-side of the
You
inspo
should.
and what it looked like.
Yes. Because no shade to Whitney, may she rest in peace.
Please.
Low-key, I think mine was better.
I like mine more. And that's what matters.
Woo.
And that's what matters.
I'm glad I got that off my chest.
Whitney Houston's was Whitney Houston's.
She's
yours
in heaven
is yours.
now, so it can't
I'm
hurt her.
so glad that you were like, this is what I want, and you feel like, and you
I just, along
cheers
the
to
way,
that, baby.
cheers to that.
Yeah.
We had doubts. We weren't sure at some point.
I was so, can I?
Yes.
Listen, you guys.
Now that we did it. Now that
it's done, I was kind of stressed.
My mom was stressed.
Honestly,
when she came, you could tell. Did you tell?
But when you would be like, so how? Because everyone's you like, I know the way you talk. But when you were like, so what's happening with the veil? Are you this? I was like, oh, she's being. This is.
But I always believed.
Yeah.
I never lost hope.
Yeah. It was fun.
Yeah.
Because
so
we knew I could do it, and I did it.
Mm-hmm.
And also, you are just okay.
Yeah.
Love you.
Yes, beautiful day. Beautiful weekend.
Day. So today we're talking about Black love. Black and in love. Also married to an African man. A man of African descent, a Ghanaian man. Big up Ghana, the Black Stars.
Shouts.
So what's that like? What was it like? You had two okay, you go. I'm talking very quickly.
So we had two weddings, 2 different days. One was a traditional Ghanaian ceremony, and then the other was like a white gown. I wouldn't say an American wedding, like I guess a Black American, because we did jump the broom and we did like the pouring of the sands, unity sands. So we had a few Black American traditions and then Ghanaian traditions. Mm-hmm. But it was really nice. I had been to Ghanaian weddings before, so I knew the extravagance.
Yes.
It was a very stressful planning, but it was really cool to like kind of get to like experience like more of his culture in a more direct way, because of course like spending time with his family. I went to DC for Ghana Independence Day throughout our relationship, so I feel like I got in to see his culture, but getting to like be a part of it and less of like a spectator, a participant, and less of like a spectator taking it in and being like a part of it.
Yeah.
The money throw, that was fun.
being the star of the moment.
Yes.
Her dress, once again, on screen. Okay, so
y'all's dress at the entrances. It was so good.
I don't like, as you all know, I love being South African.
Period.
Some of you might not like that, but we'll work through it together. But I love being South African, and I love South African culture. But the weddings, the way West Africans, Nigerians
go all off. Ghanaians and Nigerian weddings, they go crazy.
The colors.
Yeah. The first Ghanaian wedding I ever went to, I was pissed at my husband because I was so underdressed and he set me up because I'd never been to a Ghanaian wedding, right? And American weddings, Western weddings, some of them can be a lot more casual, right? Like you were saying, not the West African weddings, Nigerian weddings, Ghanaian weddings, the ones I've been to, all like super extravagant, very formal. I was so underdressed and I was so embarrassed. I was in a little summer dress and people are in these gowns. The guests, not the bride, not even like the bride's family, like the bride's just, extra friends. Just in a train. And here I am in my little, could have wore that, got it from Forever 21 probably, R.I.P. Forever 21. So that was definitely like, okay, like an experience that was like early on in our relationship. Like one of his best friends, who was also from Ghana, got married. So yeah, that was like a learning experience too.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so how did you find the way people dressed up to your Ghanaian wedding?
I have no complaints. Everybody
Yeah.
looked great. I thought we had suggested for folks to wear white or just traditional African attire if they had some, or just formal. But honestly, a lot of folks came in white formal, and I thought it looked really nice because for us in the bridal party and a lot of Ghanaian weddings, they might not wear white. They would wear colors, and sometimes they ask the guest to wear white instead, which I kind of like the flip of that. And yeah, it's just something different. And my family, it was interesting because my family, Black American, my mom is from Louisiana, my dad's family is from California by way of Mississippi. So like when I was telling them like what they had to wear, they had a lot of questions, and I was like, trying to guide them as best as I knew.
Right.
And like thankfully my husband's family was really supportive and helpful, and they had like sent fabric for like my mom to wear like a sash that she tied, and they custom made my dad a shirt. And I, for my siblings, like they had some stuff that was like from my in-laws, and my mom even got like used some of the extra fabric to make that little dress for my niece. My mom found a Ghanaian man in Southern California, in our hometown, because there's not a lot of African immigrants where I'm from in Southern California. Most of the Black folks there are Black American. But my mom found, I think he's Ghanaian, a Ghanaian, West African for sure, man in our hometown, and he custom made that dress with just the extra fabric.
Shout out to your mom for keeping it real.
And I love it. And I was like, my little African baby princess, my little niece. I was like,
so beautiful.
So precious. And so it was cool for my family too to get to like experience Ghanaian culture and like get to kind of like have that cultural exchange. And it's interesting, being again like Black American and him being first generation American, Ghanaian, like we're both Black, but again, diaspora, we have different backgrounds and understandings and like perspectives and cultural experiences. So that was like a cool thing to get to do with our families too.
Yeah, and I like that you have embraced his culture and are interested and are willing to learn, and so is your family.
Yes.
I'm
and
really
it was hard
glad.
in the beginning. I was a
sure
little nervous.
Nervous of what?
Okay, I feel like I told you this before.
You bold going.
Woo!
Wait, first of all, let's get into the cut. She's back.
We'll save it for the black hair episode, but
we'll get into it. We'll get into
the
it.
The cinnamon swirl,
honey. Wow.
But no, because it was interesting because he was the first African man I had dated before. Like, he was born here in the U.S., but his family are African immigrants. And that was the first time I dated a Black man who was the child of African immigrants, not like from the Caribbean or like specifically from a country in Africa. And so I think it was like an adjustment of like, thinking that if I was around Black people, I would there'd be nothing I didn't know, I guess. Like, being around non-Black people, it was like I'm used to there being a reference I hadn't heard or like a song, whatever the case might be, right? But like being around Black people, I'm like, no, we Black, you Black, I'm Black. I'm like, there's an assumption that we're gonna
click and get each other
and align and know all the same references and shows and songs and whatever else,
and see regular common things the same way.
Yes, interpret things the same way. And dating him, it was also my first time moving, shortly after moving to New York, but going to more parties where they're playing Afrobeats and old school Afrobeats too, not just the newer stuff that maybe I had heard.
Yeah.
And the dances, I'm you gotta teach me. I'm I don't know these. Yeah. And so in the beginning it was uncomfortable and I was very insecure, and I don't feel like I'm the strongest dancer in general. So then I'm now I'm trying to get off, I'm trying to do everything, and that was it was but I think through our relationship it was okay, getting used to the not interpreting it as discomfort, I guess, and just getting used to being learning something, and that's okay, not interpreting it as I feel left out, taking it in and learning and taking it as more of a cultural exchange, and now I don't feel left out or not excluded or anything like that at all.
That's so interesting.
Yes.
Wow. But I'm glad that you have a partner who also is good at bringing you in and explaining things. A great man, a great black man.
Yes, they do exist.
They do exist.
There's a few left.
So, not to like, get dark. No, it's not dark because there's light at the end of the tunnel.
Exactly.
So, I have not dabbled really in black love.
Seriously.
Because I have avoided it. I grew up around the examples of black love I saw, which I would love to get, we can bounce right now, but I didn't see good examples of black love when I was growing up. A lot of the black women who were in relationships with men who were black, they were not taken care of, they were abused, they, to me, I grew up believing that black men weren't good partners, they weren't safe partners. And so, and even my best guy friends, like I've spoken to you about, love them as friends, such good friends, but the people they dated, they were terrible too.
Right.
And so I'm like,
a good friend but a horrible partner.
So like,
Crazy.
why would I do that to myself when those are the only examples that I have? Even in movies, Tyler Perry. Even in movies, Tyler Perry.
You will pay for your crimes.
What about like, hey, black men are amazing, like from the jump?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
There's sometimes he'll have a black man save the black woman in the end.
Sure.
Like Diary Mad Black Woman.
Right.
What's his face?
But there's always a man.
But there's something. There's something.
Like, they're just there all the time at the scene of the crime.
And to that extent too, because people were criticizing Is God Is the movie.
Okay.
Because the villain is played by Sterling K. Brown, and he's just like an abusive black father. Like that's just pretty much it. And a lot of people are like, oh, like you're demonizing black men. And, you could say similarly with like Tyler Perry movies. But I guess, as you are saying, if you're making movies about black people,
you're telling our stories.
You're telling our stories. And not every story has to be like one of trauma.
Right.
But like if you are telling a story of black characters experiencing trauma and it's about black people, chances are the people who, and I think that translates in real life too, that it's like kind of like you're saying, like, the interpersonal relationships we judge based on like what's in our immediate, you know what I mean? Because it's not as if non-black men as a whole are treating their partners any better.
Exactly.
Like my non-black girlfriends are fighting for their lives just as much. But you're judging by, well, what do I see? Who's in my life? Who do I have the closest like interaction with?
Right.
Yeah.
And so there were just so many examples, and I definitely find black men attractive, and I have been intimate with black men, but I couldn't open myself up to be vulnerable because I just, of the ideology and the belief that I had created. But as you're saying, the rest of them are kind of...
They all be.
They kind of across the board. So I had to be like, oh, okay. Wow.
But yes.
Which is like very fair, and my bad. How could I believe, for example, white men were better, like read a history book? You know what I mean? Like, those aren't just examples of like,
But again, when we're thinking about like interpersonal... Exactly.
These were the people who were doing...
Who you have the most...
Even now, on social media, most of the... I'm not hateful. No one hates me. But most of the like insulting or just like trying to be kind of abusive come from black men. So I'm like, and y'all want me to...
What, like come wanna...
Get on my knees?
Like sit on that? No. No ma'am. I think we've talked about, I can't remember what year it's from, and we'll look it up and you can link it. Okay. The conversation between Nikki Giovanni and James Baldwin circulates on social media every couple of years. I feel like we talked about this. Yeah. And they're talking about like black men, and Nikki Giovanni, the poet, is like talking about how like oftentimes black men take out their just anger at the world from being the victims of oppression and like systemic racism and all these other things out on the people that are closest to them, because in their personal lives is the only place they can exert power or control. Yeah. And that's what we're taught masculinity is, like power and control. And it's like, so who can they, in a world that's like not built for, black folks to succeed, where can they exert that? To their wives, sisters, mothers, children. Yeah. And it ends up, and like in the conversation, James Baldwin is like saying like, I can't fake it with you. I have to, like, to the black woman, the black man to the black woman is like, when I'm out in the world, I have to put on a face at my job for my white boss. But I can't do that with you as the black woman because you see it. But
and I'm angry.
Yeah, but then, I'm angry. But Nikki Giovanni is like, yes, fake it like you do for him. Come smile in my face. Like, why do I get the worst of you?
Why is that? Then why would I want to be in your life?
And I'm carrying those same burdens. I'm moving through the world with even an additional burden of being a woman.
And I'm getting it from you, and I'm getting it from
both
them.
sides. Can't catch a break.
And even parents who discipline their children in a way like, oh, the world is tough, like life's tough.
Right.
Okay, so why not give me a safe space?
Let's start at home making it hard.
Why not give me some way to be able to be soft if I have to be hard everywhere else?
So
and
true.
It's just, you're absolutely right. Black men are very traumatized.
Right.
And like it's a generational thing.
Right.
And as much as we think that it might, die with the people, DNA wise, is it raining? Oh, so
it's
beautiful.
Supposed to. Summer
it's been
rain.
so
Whispers me to sleep and keeps me up again.
My rain.
But I do think it's turning around. I do think that, especially I think that, like, the whole idea of black love, as far as my knowledge, is honestly, like, the phrasing and the way we use it is a fairly recent kind of phenomenon, from my understanding.
It is phrasing. There's been examples.
Yes, right, exactly. There's, of course, examples of black love throughout, like, media and history, but I feel like it's kind of like Black Girls Rock, like that whole thing, and the, like, body positivity. Like, I feel like in the late 2000s, we were starting to be like,
our asses off.
Yeah, like, we can do something here. Woo!
Making merch and earrings.
Yeah. T-shirts,
stickers with afros. And you know what? It worked.
It worked because
look at us.
So great. It worked. But yeah, I think that now we are seeing more examples of black love. Also, more examples. It's hard with dating now because I think in general, we talk about like red pill culture, incel culture. I think even like some of the like sugar baby soft life culture has kind of just made dating more complicated, I think.
Yes.
But I do think that like folks are having more conversations between like black men and black women that need to be had, in order to better understand each other and have meaningful relations. Not even just romantically, but just like I love the post you did talking about like your coworkers that are black men and how that has been very affirming in your life. So I feel like even just like loving each other beyond romance and sex and just like because you are a person and like we come from a similar struggle.
Yeah, exactly. Something that and maybe it was me. I'm gonna did that thought. Something that I thought before when black people will say that if you date outside of your race, you're like betraying. And I always wondered, why is it that me being a good friend, being a good community member is not enough? Why do you really have to like
show up,
give you access to my body, or like why do I have to love you through that in order for me to love you?
Yes.
But
we have to further the race.
Am I a breeding machine?
Right, like what?
Like, can't I just find love?
Yeah, no, that's so true. That's a good point, yeah. Because like all the other ways you show up as a daughter, as a sister, as a friend, it's like none of those matter if it's not like, because that's all love too. Right. Yes.
And sometimes I can love you more because we don't have that emotional connection and, in
that way, yeah.
Exactly, in that way. But, I'm on the mend and I'm looking at black men deliciously.
Yes.
Black women, black people. But yeah.
And I think with Richard, my husband, I do
Which
feel
your husband.
My husband.
You're
I've been throwing that word
I
around.
know. It sounds delicious coming out of your mouth.
Rolls off
the tongue.
He also has a lot of black women in his life too.
Yeah.
And also like a black woman best friend. He had a groomswoman.
He did, Richard.
And like, some of my friends when I first started like dating him were like feeling like that was like a red flag if he had like female friendships or like close friendships with women.
Okay.
And I'm like, I feel like that's a green flag, and you should see that.
A woman likes him.
Yeah. And again, I think that, like, as we're saying, having relationships outside of just romance and sex, whether it's through your family or, you know, through friendships, because obviously family sometimes carries that, like, obligation that you're gonna, like, have a connection. Not always, but I do think that, like, that was an example in a way that I saw him kind of, like, you know, as someone that I thought could be supportive and affirming and, you know what I mean? Like, showing up for me and understanding, like, some of my experience as a woman as well.
And also, you have male friends.
Right, exactly. And I've always had close male friendships, but I have had relationships where it was maybe like a conflict or, you know, was something. And so with him, that was the first time I dated someone that had close women friends in his life. But part of it is like his job too is more female dominated. So yeah, I think that like the more we do that, the better it will be.
Yes. The more we just see each other as people. And not as needing to follow us, whatever it is.
Yes. Carrying all of the expectations of like gender and dating and blackness and just looking at you as just like a human in another human, you know?
Yeah. And also, we are like a global village. You know, people are moving all over.
Yeah.
I came from a country where I was majority black, and I'm a country where the majority is white and like other people, you know? So we're all just like moving around the earth and meeting people. And so, but I do want black children.
Yeah, right, yes. And I guess, like...
They will be.
They will be.
No matter what. But...
Because you are, yes. And, you know, sometimes I think that is some of the black love as well.
Yeah.
Like, the black family. And, like, I think maybe some of where that comes from is, like, what it represents. And particularly because, like, just, like, media is so powerful. Because when you haven't, as we mentioned, like, whether it's Tyler Perry or whatever the case may be, if you haven't seen a ton of positive examples of representations of like the black family, of black love, I think sometimes that's what makes people like seek that out because it's like you want to be that, you know? And I did grow up seeing some examples of that. Not necessarily that like every black couple I saw did I want to model my relationship after, but I did see examples of like black love that I thought they looked happy, you know, and they looked in love and like whatever their arrangement, however their marriage worked, I don't know. But yeah, I think they looked
like two people who were enjoying being each other's
and
lives.
who were choosing being exactly.
Yeah.
So maybe I'll be one of those.
You are
and like,
already.
Yes.
You know, really and
like
truly,
babe,
I
also.
Really love that you are with a black man who is good and a good partner out loud. And from what I understand from you, you're happy, you know? And so being around examples of black men who are good partners is really good for me. And my coworkers, like you mentioned, most of them are black men, and I freaking love them because they're good people and they're really good partners to their partners. They're still like, you know, men. Like, love y'all, but you're still men. But for the most part, I love them. And they're just so I'm really, really lucky that I'm getting to experience this. And especially a different culture, and even black men, black African men.
Yes. Like that are here?
Yeah.
Yes.
Them too. Great people. You know? So, yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Black love. Hashtag Black love. Thank you so much for coming back.
Thank you for having me.
We're going to a black event tonight.
Period. Maybe we'll find some black love there.
Oh.
Hey.
Okay. Bye.
Bye.